Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Meshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Yapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhushcha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, tonight we begin the 11th chapter, and just a bit of a review of where we are in the arc of Gita. So, some scholars divide the 18 chapters into 3 sections of 6 chapters each one corresponding to one of the worlds of Tatvamasi. So the first 6 chapters is about Tvam, you. We have the Yoga of Arjuna grief. We have all the various chapters on Karma Yoga. Ends up in the 6th chapter, the Yoga of meditation. The second 6 chapters are about Tat, that ultimate reality. What is the nature of Brahman? And whenever we need to think of this, we need to do Nirguna Brahman without qualities, the eternal subject. We went into that in incredible depth in the 9th chapter. And Saguna Brahman with qualities, meaning this phenomenal world. How do I see the self in and through all the objects? And my problem is anyonya adhyasa, mutual superimposition. I superimpose upon myself the qualities of the not self, meaning I am pure consciousness, but I think I'm the body or the personality and the ego, etc. And then on the supposed not self, the world of name and form, I externalize reality, I otherize it. So the sofa is over there and it has sat existence apart from me, apart from consciousness. Chit Deepa sitting on the sofa, and I think she's a conscious being, separate from me, separate from reality, ultimate reality. Ananda, I superimpose bliss onto the world of name and form. Superimpose upon the self the qualities of the not self. I superimpose upon the not self the qualities of the self in an externalized, otherized way. Now, what we need to deal with in this second group of 6 chapters, what is this world? Well, it is Brahman, but it's not separate from consciousness. We have to reconcile 2 scriptural statements. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahman alone is real. Krishna alone is real. The Jagat, the phenomenal world, is Mithya, illusory, a lie. Okay, I get it, Jim. Only Brahman's real. All the names and forms are unreal. Forget them. No, that's not it. And my favorite mantra from Chandogya, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Sarvam Idam, all this, Kalu verily is Brahman. Well, make up your mind. Is it all illusion or is it all God? Yes. We have to reconcile those 2 statements. So in the 10th chapter, we took a deep dive in the language of poetry into what I called the theology of aesthetics. Here, Krishna says of luminaries, I'm the sun, and of warriors, I'm Arjuna. What is the best of the best? Krishna says, I am that. What he's talking about is when I experience something profound, beautiful, superlative, excellent, it does something to my mind. Vishwa Ananda, Vishwananda, as Vidyaranya calls it. So I was at the San Francisco Symphony Youth Orchestra today, and they did the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. And there was this young Asian fellow, maybe 19 or 20, just incredible. And it makes your heart leap. First of all, the music is so beautiful in that concerto. But that last movement, especially, so fast. I mean, he must have had 4 hands. It's just incredible virtuosity. And of course, everybody's standing ovation and stuff like that. Or even those deeper moments when we get the thunderous silence in the face of just awesome beauty. What that is a kiss of the bliss of our own self-nature. So the problem is we want to make sure we don't think, well, Brahman is only in those peak moments. Now, let's get it real subtle here. Some of us think it's about having a spiritual experience. Samadhi. I love spiritual experiences. But what they are is the highest form of worldly pleasure. Why? They have a beginning and an end. They come and they go. They're subject to intensity and duration. Isn't that the truth about all your spiritual experiences? Yes, no? Yes. That isn't it. That's the vibhuti, the Lord's glory, not the Lord himself. The Lord is birthless, changeless, deathless, omnipresent, omniscient. When are you ever not you? Do you come and go and rise and fall and have qualities and characteristics vary in intensity? Nope. You're always just you. Well, then why do they call it Ananda? I feel cheated. Well, we don't want to confuse bliss absolute, Ananda, with what happens to the mind. Brahmananda rasa swad, the tasting of the juice of the bliss of Brahman. Because yourself is bliss absolute, your mind can be blissful. It is the fountainhead, the wellspring, the source of all happiness. But the happiness happens to the mind. Very careful on this. This is still vibhuti, the Lord's glory. So in the 11th chapter, Krishna is going to take us into a deeper place. The fundamental practice given to us in the 11th chapter, Vishwa. How does Swamiji say it? Vishwarupa or Vishwaswarupa?
Vishwaswarupa.
Vishwaswarupa, which means the myself nature in the phenomenal world, the waking state world. Putting it more colloquial in English, seeing the self in every aspect of the phenomenal world with a clear understanding that all of the names and forms, without exception, are consciousness appearing as name and form. And part of the Swarup are some certain cosmic laws that Krishna is going to tell us about the world. The first all name and form without exception is impermanent. All mind states are impermanent. And if I let go of my judgments, my opinion, the world has an intensity and a vibrancy that reveals a kind of bliss that's beyond our worldly notions of good and bad, just and unjust, right and wrong. It's possible to go through any experience without suffering. Pain is always there, but the suffering, meaning the mind's resistance, is optional. Yeah. All right, let's get into the scripture.
We're starting a new chapter.
Chapter 11.
Arjuna Vacha Madanugraha Grahaya Paramam Yamadhyatma Sangitam Yatva Yokta Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. By this word of the highest secret concerning the self, which you have spoken out of compassion towards me, my delusion is gone.
So here, Arjuna's beginning to get this deep insights. The 9th chapter, Aham Brahmasmi, oh, my essential nature is Brahman. The Vishwa Ananda, those peak moments in the world when desire and object of desire become one, that's only a taste of the bliss of my own self nature. I'm beginning to get it, dude. But he wants more. Going on.
Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam Shruto vistarasho maya Tvata kamalapatraksha Mahatmya mapi chavyayam. The origin and destruction of beings verity have been heard by me in detail from you, O lotus-eyed Krishna, and also your inexhaustible greatness.
Yes. So, reviewing what we learned in the last chapter, all beings emerge from Krishna, from consciousness, exist in infinite consciousness, and then merge back in it. There's no place outside of God. Going on.
Evametat Tyathat tattva matmanam parameshwara drashtumichhami te rupa Vaishwaram Purushottama. Now, O Supreme Lord, as you have thus described yourself, I wish to see actually your form divine, O Purushottama.
Yeah, dangerous question. Now I want to actually see your divine form. Now, does that mean his buddy who's there driving the chariot is all of a sudden going to turn into the four-armed Krishna? Oh, you have no idea what you have asked for. But each of us needs to ask for that. Lord, show me your divine form. So, what are we talking about? The Jagat, the creation, is the body of God. And here Gita uses the term Vishwa Swarup. What does Vishwa mean?
World.
The world's most specifically, according to the Upanishads, perceived in the waking state.
Mm.
If you go to Mandukya, what does he call the waking state world? Do you remember? Vaishwanara.
Mm-hmm.
Nara Vishwa. The person who sees the Vishwa, the waking state world. Nara is just a person. So the phenomenal world, all the objects in creation, and the potentiality of all the objects in creation, and all the objects that have ever been. This is the body of God. Now, listen carefully. Your physical body, in a sense, comes about in the same way your dream body comes about. When you dream, there's no other substance. Do you create a dream body? Is it something material that's created? Well, it sure feels like it when I'm dreaming. We do not pretend we don't have the experience. But upon awakening, my swapna swarup, my nature in the dream state, though it seems physical, is imagination. So even though the Jagat is the body of God, it still comes about by means of imagination. Sankalpena. So Arjun's thinking, I'm going to see my friend with his four arms and blue skin. Maybe he'll be a little taller. Has no idea what he's going to see and what he's going to perceive about the Jagat, about the Vishwa, the world. Next verse.
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्. If you, O Lord, think it possible for me to see it, if you please, then, O Lord of Yogas, show me your imperishable self form.
Yeah. So you need a little help from Lord Krishna, who's going to bonk him on the head, basically. Because only a jnani, a person of steady wisdom, sees the world as it is. So I was asking Trevor before class what his Ishtadevata was. And you responded,
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva has three eyes, Triambakam. Yes, two eyes like you and me. but then he has a jnana chakshu, an eye of wisdom. What happens when Lord Shiva opens his third eye? What's the mythology say? You know. What happens when
That
Shiva opens his third eye?
everything that's material gets destroyed and only the true essence remains. So that's his ability to see through.
Yes. So when we destroy the world, it doesn't mean a big crunch after a big bang only. It may mean that. But it means we no longer see the material world as something solid and material. Just like when you're in the desert and you see the mirage, your senses report water and your knowledge is water. But you keep driving toward it and it recedes. And you realize, oh, very cool, it's a mirage. Your senses continue to report water, but your knowledge is sand. So you have destroyed the water in the desert through the jnana chakshu, the eye of understanding. So what we're going to do is see the Vishwa Swarup, the essential nature of the phenomenal world as it really is. That's what Krishna is going to tell us. Going on.
Pashya me partharupani. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Pashya me partharupani. Shatashota sahasraha sahasrasha. Nana vidhani divyani. Nana varna kritini cha. The blessed Lord said, Behold, O Partha, forms of me, by hundreds and thousands, of different sorts divine, of various colors and shapes.
So this doesn't mean Krishna's gone fractal with a bunch of little Krishnas around. What it means is everything that you can see that my mind will say is good and bad, right and wrong, just or unjust, spiritual or carnal, all of it, without exception, is Krishna. Everything. So there's a practice here as I move through my life. There is no place where God is absent. Well, what about starving children and war and politics and those people I don't like? Right where the trouble seems to be, there God is. That's the practice. God is not absent anywhere. This is tough truth. I've just been reading the headlines. Seems pretty effed up to me. Going on.
Pashya Dityan Vasun Sunrudra sunrutran ashwino marutastata bahunya drishtapurvani pashyashravaya pasyaschar pasyascharyaani bharata. Behold the Adityas, the Vasus, the Rudras, the two Ashwins, and also the Maruts. Behold many wonders never seen before, O Bharata.
So all these celestial levels of being. So in the Abrahamic religions, we have beings just called by different names. Angels and archangels and thrones and powers and dominions. I wonder what a dominion looks like. Bible talks about them. Levels of beings, saints, sages. So all of these beings on all levels, they are nothing but consciousness appearing as these subtle names and forms. Going on.
Ihe kastam jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanyat tatra yachanyat drashtumichasi. Now behold, O Gudakesha, in this body, that the whole universe centers in one, including the moving and the unmoving and whatever else you desire to see.
So what it means is consciousness is infinite. And within consciousness is the entire manifest universe, gross and subtle. I was watching this one YouTube, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Any of you watch his stuff? I love him. He's an astrophysicist. And he was talking about how some physicists are saying, well, some people are saying the entire phenomenal universe actually exists inside a supermassive black hole.
Mm-hmm.
And that supermassive black hole is in another universe. And that other universe is inside another supermassive black hole in another universe. And it's just a regressus ad infinitum. Because when you go inside a black hole, time and space all get warpified. And all of it is in consciousness. Prajnanam Brahma, the first of the great Mahavakyas from the Vedas. Brahman is consciousness. Nothing is outside of it. Now, does consciousness undergo a change? No. But all the world seems to change. Yes. So we get all sorts of metaphors that help us understand it. So if Deepa goes in and looks at her reflection in the mirror in the bathroom, there's a beautiful woman. If I go in and look at my reflection in the mirror, there's a gnarly old man. Has the mirror undergone any change? Yes, no? Is the reflection really there? Or does it just appear? The other one, if I get out my crystal ball, which is spatika, it's flawless quartz crystal. And if you look at it, you see images in the crystal. But whatever images you see, has the crystal undergone any change? No. If you see images upside down, you can't saw open the crystal ball and pull them out. It's the stone itself that appears as those images. I'm going to throw it over my shoulder tonight. So also, consciousness, Brahman is kutastha, stable, established, like a mountain, even more so. And the names and forms appear and move and rise and fall, are born and disappear. But the ground of being is theta, still established. Why is this important? In truth, it's always all okay. Because bhava, being, is the inherent nature of consciousness. And it just never changes, it never gets destroyed. Nobody is really born, nobody really dies. It doesn't mean it's not a vivid dream. But if you have a very vivid nightmare, you're still safe in your bed. Yes, but I want it to be peace and light and everybody to get along. It would be nice. But is a pleasant dream more real? Something there is that is real, and that's yourself, the self. I am Atma, Brahma, the self is Brahman. It's all going to be okay. All is okay right now. Next verse.
Sanjay Uvacha.
Okay, before we go on, remember who Sanjaya is? He's the dude who's back at the court of Dhritarashtra. So he's the one who's relating the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. So in this one place, there's an insertion. Sanjaya is going to tell Dhritarashtra what's going to happen. Okay. What?
I believe we skipped 8.
We did. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Tell Sanjaya to wait.
okay. Hold on, Sanjay. न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुं नेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षु पश्य मे योगमेश्वरम्. But you are not able to behold me with these your own eyes. I give you the divine eyes. Behold my lordly yoga.
So he reaches out and touches him, opens this eye of wisdom, this divine eye, to see what's really going on. Now Sanjaya says,
Sanjay Uvacha Eva Muktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Harihi Darshayamasa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Sanjaya said, having thus spoken, O king, the great lord of yoga, Hari, showed to Partha his supreme form as the lord of the universe.
yes. So the Lord of the universe, Ishvara, comes from the Sanskrit root ichati, to wish, to will. It is the nature of God as Lord, Brahma, the creator, Ishvara, to do all of this. How Ishvara wishes and wills it infinitely. Going on.
Anek Aneka Vaktra Nayan. It's a very long Sandhi, please.
I
Anek.
think the meter may change, does it?
No, the meter hasn't changed. It's just like a single long sentence.
Okay.
Aneka Vaktra Nayan Manas Mane Katu Darshanam Aneka Divyaparanam Divyanekodyatadhyutyutham Divya Malyambaradharam Divya Gandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Deva Anantam Vishwatomukham. With numerous mouths and eyes, with numerous wonderful sights, with numerous divine ornaments, with numerous divine weapons uplifted, such a form he showed, wearing divine garlands and apparel, anointed with divine unguents, the all wonderful, resplendent, endless, facing all sides.
So it sounds like an LSD trip. But we have to understand, was it some fantastic form? If you look at the ISKCON version of the Gita, they have some fabulous illustrations. And you see this, with faces everywhere and mouths everywhere and eyes everywhere and tall and all these unguents and garlands and stuff like that. That's an exoteric reading. So right now, here in this living room, Krishna has 10 eyes. 2, 4, 6, 8. I missed one.
Krishna's right over there.
Okay. 8 eyes. But do you understand what it means? How many arms? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 arms. How many garlands? What are you wearing? What are your hair, your clothing, everything that adorns you? And not just the humans, but every being in the universe. Endless are the eyes, the mouths, the ears, the arms, limbs of Krishna. Mathematicians and physicists, when they talk about how common life is on Earth, and there are trillions and trillions of stars with Earth-like planets just in the Milky Way galaxy. How many eyes, mouths, limbs are out there? Who's to say? How many have been little creepy crawlies, dinosaurs, all sorts of things? All of it are forms of Krishna, all part of Krishna's Swarup form. Going on.
Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavedyuga Yadi Bhasadrishi Sasya Atbhasastasya Mahatmana. If the splendor of 1,000 suns was to blaze all at once simultaneously in the sky, that would be like the splendor of that mighty being or great soul.
Yes. So not just one sun, but 1,000 suns, even more. How many suns are just in the Milky Way? How many have been swallowed by the black hole at the center of the universe, of the galaxy? There's no end to the light, the splendor, the awesomeness of the phenomenal world, the body of God. Going on.
Tatre kastam jagat kritsnam pravibhaktamanekadha apashya deva devasya sharire pandavastada. There in the body of the gods of gods, the Pandava or son of Pandu then saw the whole universe resting in one with all its infinite parts.
Yes. So with the eye of wisdom, Arjuna understands everything rests in consciousness. Sarvam kalvidam Brahma. All this is verily Brahman. And it never leaves its Swarup, its essential form, its essential nature, its Swabhava, its nature. Never does. Right where the trouble seems to be, there God is. Everything is in God. You hear the adage, oh, I'm going to have a difficult meeting at work tomorrow. And the mentor says, well, take God with you. God's already there. You and I just need to notice God is here. Right here. Right now. Why don't you taste and see the goodness of the Lord, as the psalmist said? It's right here. Nothing needs to change but my viewpoint. We need to be bonked on the head like Arjuna got from Krishna. Going on.
Tata sa vismayavishto Prishtaro Madhananjaya Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjalir Bhashata. Then Dhananjaya, filled with wonder, with his hair standing on end, bowed down his head to the god and spoke with joined palms.
Yes, so he's undergoing horripulation is the term. That's hair standing on end. Now, there's a practice that's implied in this. A good way to start is to see every experience that we're going through as gift. That's a good place to start. Some gifts are tougher than others. But my karma has brought me this experience. This is a gift. God is right here. Guru is right here. What can I learn? I'll give you a real live example. So I was talking with a fellow the past couple of days, and he's doing volunteer work at an ashram. And he was in hopes of getting a job there. That's why he moved there. And one of the people in charge had intimated that there would be work for him. Well, a month has gone by, and he's running out of money. They haven't said, we're hiring you. So he was going to confront them. You said that blah, 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 blah. We need to get some clarity and, yada, 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 my dignity and yada, 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 yada. Have you ever had that kind of an attitude?
Yes.
It's usually not very effective. So what we went through is, okay, understand. This is Guru. There's a spiritual lesson to learn through all this. First of all, can you own your kleshas? What's going on? Well, the first one, of course, was fear. Fear of financial insecurity. Fear that he wasn't going to get what he wanted. Fear that people are going to take advantage of him. Well, we have tools to deal with fear. Ishvara pranidhana. So we work through what we can do as yogis. First of all, own our own kleshas. Inside, always be a sannyasi. It all belongs to God. None of it's mine. I don't deserve any of it. And understand God's taking care of me. And just talk about what's going on with you. I'm running out of money. I came here with an expectation of work, and I need some clarity. Don't blame. Don't criticize. It's not effective in life. Now, you've worked with so much of this in the corporate world. Do you have anything to add to just the simple practices of how to negotiate this as a yogi?
I think the only thing to say here is a negotiation is not one person winning against another person. A successful negotiation often involves empathy, and
Yes.
both people have to come out of it winning, and that is never affected by fighting
Yeah,
or grandstanding.
that's important. Never affected by hiding or grandstanding. Excellent. But you start as a yogi with the assumption right here is God. Right here is guru. How can I practice my yoga to the best of my ability here? And it's progress, not perfection. Sometimes, I could have done that a little better.
Also, you've taught me in similar situations to identify what I am attached to, which is separate from what is the ideal outcome.
Yes.
And oftentimes those become conflated in a moment of passion and appear very different. So separating our ego from an ideal outcome that is fair is very different.
And that's again our yoga. And this is what's so beautiful, because Krishna or Arjuna is not some monk living in the Himalayas. He's on the battlefield of life. Things are oftentimes gray, not black and white. So we can take this at level upon level upon level, but start with the understanding. Right where the trouble seems to be, there God is. And if I'm having trouble, what is it I need to learn? It's Guru in the form of the world. Krishna as Jagat. Krishna as Vishwa. Endeavor to seek connection, relatedness. This is why I love St. Francis. He's one of my heroes. So everything in creation, brother worm, sister butterfly, sister rose. Going on.
Arjuna Vacha, it's the new meter.
Yeah, he's upset.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the double meter.
Yeah. Pashyami devanstava devadehe sarvamstatha bhuta vishesha sambhan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishimsha survanuragamsha divyan. Arjuna said, I see all the gods, O God, in your body, and also hosts of various classes of beings. Brahma, the Lord of creation, seated on the lotus, all the rishis and celestial serpents.
So he's having this direct experience of seeing everything from the most mundane to the highest and sublime image is in God. Now, this was a vision given to him by grace, and what it's done is freaked him out a bit. And this can happen sometimes when we're in the presence, just very practically, of a Mahatma. Sometimes the Shakti is so intense that we have all these psychedelic kind of experiences, or get frightened, or have a lot of energy and stuff like that. We get a little freaked out. It doesn't always have to be that way. But for Arjun, he's a pretty vulgar guy. He's freaked out by seeing all this. And what we see as we perceive the divine vision, we see its fullness and we see its inherent emptiness. It's paradoxical. But one thing that happens is everything that we've ever invested in, that's going to make me happy. That's going to give me self-worth. That's going to solve my problems. That's going to fix it all, be it a relationship or a job or a home or a degree or a trophy or a Sanskrit name, white or orange cloth. All of it shunyata. It's all God, but it's all empty. Many people totally freak out because they see the total vanity, everything they've invested in. I've spent my whole life trying to make $1 million. And we see it's totally stupid. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's just empty. Going on.
अनेक बहादुर वक्त नेत्रम पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपम् शान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप. I see thee of boundless form on either side, on every side, with manifold arms, stomachs, mouths, and eyes. Neither the end nor the middle, nor also the beginning do I see, O Lord of the universe, O cosmic form.
Yes. So he's penetrated into the deep, deep divine vision. Everything is God. Even the most that we would call horrible is also God. And there's a perfection to it all. Swamiji used to say always, it's a cosmos, not a chaos. The world is beautiful in its organization and in its physical laws and metaphysical laws, all coming from Krishna. And we see it. We see its incredible beauty. Going on.
Kiritinam Kadinam Chakrinam Cha Tejo Ramshim Sarvato Deeptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantat Deeptanalarkadyutim Maprameyam. I see thee with crown, club, and discus, a mass of radiance shining everywhere, very hard to look at, all round blazing like burning fire in its sun, and incomprehensible.
So this can in one way mean a form of a god with crown, club, and discus. But there's deeper meaning to this. So who gets to wear a crown?
The king.
Yes. So crown here means Krishna is Lord of the universe. This is why the tradition suggests Ishvara Pranidhana, trustful surrender to God. God's smart. I think I'm going to let him run things. the king of creation, of infinite majesty. Club. What's the club represent? Discipline and punishment. So here is Krishna's club. We are not punished for our sins. We are punished by our sins. If we have a real understanding of the law of karma, think of it like a pebble being dropped into a pond and the ripples go out to the edge and they come back. What goes round comes round. Whatever energy you put out physically and mentally tends to return to us in kind. Part of the subtle form of the law of karma is the law of sankalpa. Any sankalpa, wish, will, thought, imagination, intention consistently maintained that isn't conflicted or contradicted tends towards grossification, meaning it shows up as material stuff. So, if your mind, because of your deep spiritual insight, has the deep sankalpa, I live and move and have my being in thee, O Lord. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. O Lord, you are the center of my life. These are all things from Hebrew scripture. God goes, yes. Things work a little better. But if I spend all morning praying, doing a mantra, life is terrible, and you should be afraid, and oh, I'm so effed up, and I'll never amount to anything, and life is so hard, and oh, it's so terrible out there. God goes, yes. And that becomes the world we see. Deep, deep belief system. My habituated thoughts create how I see the world. In the Hebrew scripture, in Genesis, it says that God made man, human beings, in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Means everybody. Doesn't mean that God has two arms, two legs, a head, and all the stuff that people have. It means, how does God bring about the phenomenal world? Sankalpena, by means of imagination, of intention. We as human beings, largely unconsciously, participate in, to a limited degree, reenact the creative process of God. We have a little corner of the creation. My own little dollhouse. And what am I going to put in it? And the Master Jesus says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I mean, women too. So a yogi needs to understand that our thought life has enormous power. Now, thank God, 99.9% of all the human beings in the world don't believe that their minds are powerful. Otherwise, we'd really be screwed up. There'd be wreckage everywhere. Well, actually, there kind of is. Well, anyway. But we literally use the law to disempower the law of mind and action. But this is ancient teaching. This is ancient teaching. Everything that comes forth from human creativity, from a great symphony to writing good code to winning a trophy at lawn bowling, starts with an intention. Very important point. So that's the club. Now the discus. I forget, what does he do with the discus? I think that may be discrimination.
Taking the ego off, the head off of anyone.
Yeah. So here it means this discrimination between the real and the unreal, the illusion and the true, being able to separate it. So that's what we're invited to do. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitya. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mityeti Rupo Vinishchayaha Soyam Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekas Samudharitaha. The firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real and the phenomenal world is unreal is known as discrimination between the real and the unreal by the wise. So that's the practice that's implied with that. All right. Oh, we have to stop. What verse are we on for next week? Oh,
15.
We're not going to meet next week, in 2 weeks. Next week, Thanksgiving weekend, people are away, they're doing stuff. I always forget. This year, I'm not going to forget. We will have no class next week. We will meet in 2 weeks. And then do 18, you said?
Yes, 18.
All right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Tat Sat.